and I lived it. Everything I'm about to tell you is 100% real. No creepypasta, no, my cousin's friend, just me and what happened last October when we were seniors at Ridgewood High. Ridgewood is one of those quiet suburban towns where nothing ever happens. The high school sits on the edge of some woods, red brick, 3 floors, big football field out back. My life was boring in the best way: wake up at 6:45, shower, grab a Pop-Tart, walk 10 minutes to school with Mia blasting music in one earbud while I used the other. First period was English with Mrs. Carter, then chem, then lunch in the cafeteria that always smelled like bleach and pizza. After school I'd either go to the library with Sarah or hang at Jake's garage while he tried, and failed, to fix his dirt bike. Normal teenage stuff. But looking back, there were these tiny things that felt wrong, even before anything bad happened. Like, the hallway by the science wing was always colder than the rest of the school, even when the heat was blasting. Kids joked it was haunted, but it was more than cold, it was silent in a weird way. You could be laughing with your friends, step into that hallway, and every sound just died. Voices got muffled, lockers stopped slamming, even your own footsteps sounded far away. Another thing, sometimes I'd catch people staring a second too long. Not creepy staring, just blank. Like their eyes weren't really focusing. It happened with random classmates in the cafeteria, or even teachers. One time I waved at Mr. Delgado, the janitor, and he looked straight through me, mop frozen in his hands, water dripping on the floor for like 10 full seconds before he blinked and kept pushing the bucket. I told Mia and she laughed it off, but I remember my stomach felt weird the rest of the day. The group chat was the center of everything. Class chaos had 32 people, pretty much the whole senior class that mattered. We sent memes at 2 a.m., argued about who cheated on the history quiz, shared TikToks. Jake was the admin and loved adding stupid polls like, who would survive a zombie apocalypse? I usually just lurked, dropping the occasional emoji reactions. Friday, October 13th, yeah, I know, started completely normal. I walked to school alone because Mia was sick. The air smelled like dead leaves and wood smoke. When I cut across the soccer field, the morning fog was so thick I couldn't see the school until I was almost walked into the goalpost. For some reason the floodlights were still on, even though it was 7:30 a.m., buzzing and flickering like they were about to burn out. First period, Mrs. Carter was taking attendance and she paused at my name. She looked up, stared at me for a couple seconds with this tiny frown, then moved on. I thought maybe I had toothpaste on my face or something. During the lesson she kept glancing at me, same little frown. It wasn't angry, more like, confused. Like she wasn't sure I was supposed to be there. At lunch I sat with Jake and Sarah and a few others. Jake was showing everyone a dumb prank video when my phone buzzed twice. 2 notifications from the group chat, but when I opened it, there was nothing new. Just the same memes from last night. I figured it glitched. The last bell rang at 3:05. I was packing my backpack in room 214 when I noticed something small but super weird. My locker combo is 14-22-9, right? I've used it for 4 years. But when I spun the dial to clear it like I always do, the lock was already open. Not popped open, literally hanging open, like someone had just closed the door without clicking the lock shut. My stuff was exactly how I left it, nothing missing, but the metal door was cold, way colder than the hallway air. I touched it and got this instant chill up my arm. I slammed it shut, spun the dial, and told myself someone probably bumped it during passing period. No big deal. That night I was home alone, parents at some work dinner, eating cereal in the dark and scrolling TikTok when the group chat finally exploded. Jake sent a voice note, "Yo, who's trying to scare us before Halloween? Own up." Then a screenshot of a new member with no name and no profile picture. The contact just said, unknown. Then unknown dropped the first message. A single photo. It was my locker. Open. Taken from the inside looking out. The little ventilation slits at the top made these creepy striped shadows across my backpack and jacket hanging there. The timestamp on the photo was 3:07 p.m., 2 minutes after I just closed it. I stared at my phone until the screen went black. Then unknown typed 3 words that made my blood freeze, "I see you." I didn't sleep that Friday night. Every time I closed my eyes I saw those stripes of light across my locker, like prison bars. I kept checking the group chat. Unknown hadn't sent anything else, but the little green dot next to their name stayed on the whole night. They were just there. Watching. Saturday morning I told myself it was a prank. Had to be. Probably Jake or Tim with a second phone. I screenshotted everything and sent it to the group in the daylight. Me, okay funny guys, you got me. Who's unknown? Jake, bro I thought it was you, Sarah. I'm literally watched Jake make that voice note, he didn't add anyone, Mia, maybe it's someone's little brother? Chill Alex, nobody was taking it seriously. They turned it into a joke. Someone changed the group name to Alex is scared of his own locker. Laughing emojis everywhere. I felt stupid, and still feel, like an idiot for being the only one freaking out. But then the little things kept happening. That afternoon I went to the corner store for energy drinks. When I came out, an old silver car was parked across the street with the engine running. Tinted windows. It didn't move when I walked past, but I swear the second I turned the corner I heard it pull out and follow, slow. I cut through backyards to get home faster and never saw it again, but my heart was hammering the whole way. Saturday night the messages started coming just to me, not the group. Unknown, private, you walk fast when you're scared. Unknown, photo of my front door, taken from the sidewalk, timestamped 10 minutes earlier. Unknown, red hoodie looks good on you. I was wearing my red hoodie. I ran around the house checking every lock 3 times. My parents still weren't home from their dinner thing. I called Mia crying, basically. She came over and we sat on my bed with every light in the house on. She kept saying it was probably someone parked on my street who saw me walk by, no big deal. But when I showed her the private messages she went quiet. Then she said, just block the number. So I did. 5 minutes later a new number texted. Same blank profile pic. Unknown, blocking me won't help. I turned my phone off completely and we tried to watch Netflix to calm down. Around 1 a.m. we heard footsteps on the roof. Slow, deliberate. Like someone in heavy boots walking from one end of the house to the other. Mia grabbed my arm so hard it bruised. We sat frozen. The footsteps stopped right above my bedroom. Then, tap, tap, tap on the ceiling. 3 times. Like knuckles. We called the police. 2 cops came, checked the yard, the roof, everywhere. They said there were no footprints in the gutters, no ladder marks, nothing. Just wet leaves. One of them gave me that look, like I was some dumb kid who watched too many horror movies. They told my parents, who finally got home, that it was, probably raccoons, and left. Mia slept over. Neither of us closed our eyes. Sunday was worse. I had to go to school Monday, so I tried to act normal. But people in the halls kept staring. Not normal staring, long, empty stares. This sophomore girl I've never talked to stood by the water fountain and watched me walk the entire length of the hallway without blinking. When I passed her she whispered, "He's waiting for you." At lunch I sat with my friends and told them about the roof thing. Jake laughed and said I was cursed now. Sarah told me to stop feeding the troll and just leave the group chat. I did. 10 seconds later I got a WhatsApp notification from Unknown. Unknown, you can leave the chat. You can't leave the game. Attached was a 3-second video. It was shot from high up, like on top of the cafeteria shelves. You could see our whole table. The timestamp was from 5 minutes ago, while I was sitting there. I felt every drop of blood leave my face. I showed Jake. For once he didn't laugh. He just said, "Dude, change your number. Like right now." So I did. New SIM card Monday morning before school. It didn't matter. Monday after last period I was at my locker, I'd barely slept in 3 days, my hands were shaking. I felt someone stand behind me. Close. Too close. I turned around and it was Mr. Delgado, the janitor. The one who stared through me last week. He was just standing there holding his mop, dripping gray water on the floor. His eyes were completely blank. He leaned in and whispered, "Locker 227. Check it." My locker is 227. I slammed it shut and basically ran out of the building. I didn't go home right away. I walked the long way home because I was scared to be alone in the house. When I finally got there, around 5 p.m., the sun was already going down. I was unlocking the front door when I noticed the welcome mat was moved, like someone had kicked it aside. Under it was a single Polaroid photo. It was my house, taken from the street last night, every light blazing like when Mia and I were freaking out. You could see us through the living room window, sitting on the couch, faces lit by the TV. And in the very corner of the photo, almost out of frame, there was a handprint on the outside of the glass. 5 dirty fingers, like someone had pressed their palm against the window while we were inside. On the white border of the Polaroid, written in black Sharpie, it said, "Next time I come inside." I dropped the photo and screamed loud enough that my neighbor came running. I slept at Mia's house that night, but even there I kept hearing tapping on the window. The danger wasn't online anymore. It was at my door. I couldn't keep staying at Mia's house forever. Her mom was starting to ask questions, and my parents were getting mad that I wouldn't just calm down. So Tuesday night I went home. I told myself I would be fine. New phone number, new locks on the doors, baseball bat under the bed, every light in the house on. I even dragged my desk chair and wedged it under the bedroom doorknob like they do in movies. I even left my TV on with the volume low so the house wouldn't feel so quiet. Big mistake. It was around 2:17 a.m. when I woke up needing to pee. The hallway was dark because my parents finally turned off the lights when they went to bed. I didn't want to leave my room, but I really had to go. I told myself it would take 10 seconds, open door, walk 5 steps to the bathroom, lock that door, pee, come back. That's it. I took the bat with me. The second I pulled the chair away, the house felt heavier. Like the air got thick. I opened my bedroom door super slow so it wouldn't creak. The hallway was pitch black except for the little red light on the smoke detector blinking every few seconds. I stepped out, bare feet on the cold wood. My heart was already going fast. That's when I heard it. A soft scrape. Like a shoe dragging one slow step across the kitchen tiles downstairs. I froze. Another scrape. Then another. Slow, patient steps, coming toward the stairs. Someone was in the house. My brain screamed at me to run back into my room and lock the door, but my body wouldn't move. I just stood there holding the bat with shaking hands while the steps came closer, closer, until they reached the bottom of the stairs. Then silence. I couldn't even breathe. My chest felt like it was being squeezed. I waited for the creak of the first stair, but it never came. Just that horrible quiet. I don't know how long I stood there, maybe 20 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, when I heard a new sound. A tiny click. The bathroom door at the end of the hall closing from the inside. The bathroom I was about to walk into. I backed up 1 step, then another, trying not to make a sound. The floor betrayed me, one board squeaked loud. I stopped, terrified. From inside the bathroom came the slowest, wettest exhale I've ever heard. Like someone breathing through a mouth full of water. Then the doorknob started turning. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, except it was turning the wrong way, like someone who didn't know how doors work, or didn't care. It turned all the way to the left, stopped, then started turning the other way, metal grinding softly. I ran. I flew back into my bedroom, slammed the door, shoved the chair under the knob again, and jumped on my bed, bat ready, staring at the door. My whole body was shaking so hard the mattress was moving. Knock, knock, knock. 3 soft knocks on my bedroom door. Not hard. Polite. Like a friend who didn't want to wake my parents. I didn't make a sound. The knob started turning. Slowly. It went all the way to the right until the latch clicked, but the chair held. Then it started turning the other way. The chair legs scraped half an inch across the floor. Another inch and the door would open. I was crying without realizing it, snot running down my face, whispering, "Please, please, please," over and over. The turning stopped. Silence again. Then I heard the worst sound of my life. A soft, low voice. Right on the other side of the door. So close I could hear the breath behind every word. Alex. I just want to play the game. It was my own voice. Exactly mine. A perfect copy. I screamed. I couldn't help it. I screamed loud enough that my dad's bedroom door banged open down the hall and I heard him yelling my name. The second I screamed, everything stopped. No voice, no turning knob, nothing. My dad kicked my door so hard the chair flew across the room. He burst in holding the shotgun we keep in the closet. He looked around wild-eyed, saw me curled on the bed crying, and started checking under the bed, in the closet, everywhere. The bathroom door at the end of the hall was wide open. Light off. Empty. No wet footprints. No sign anyone had ever been there. My mom called the police again. Same 2 cops as before. They searched the whole house, checked every window and door. Everything was still locked from the inside. No broken glass, no footprints in the wet grass outside. One of them actually said, "Kid, you've got to stop with the nightmares." My dad didn't say anything. He just looked scared. They left. My parents made me sleep in their room that night on the floor. I lay there staring at the ceiling until the sun came up. At 6:03 a.m. my phone buzzed under the pillow. New message from a blocked number. One photo. It was taken from the corner of my parents' bedroom ceiling, looking down. You could see all 3 of us sleeping, me on the air mattress, Mom and Dad in bed. The timestamp was 3:42 a.m. In the very corner of the photo, almost invisible, there was a shape. Tall, thin, no face, just blackness where a person should be. One long arm was reaching down toward me while I slept. I zoomed in. The hand had too many fingers. And then the photo deleted itself. I didn't go to school Wednesday. I couldn't move. But the thing wasn't done with me yet. They never found anything. Not a fingerprint, not a footprint, not a single hair. The police closed the case as teenage prank gone too far. They even suggested I did some of it myself for attention. My parents didn't believe that, but they didn't know what to believe anymore. 2 weeks later we moved 3 hours away to my aunt's house. New town, new school for the last 2 months of senior year, new phone, new everything. I threw away the bat, the red hoodie, even the backpack that was in the locker photo. I thought distance would fix it. It didn't. I graduated, barely. I stopped hanging out with Jake, Mia, and Sarah. Not because I was mad, I just couldn't stand the way they looked at me now, like I was broken. Mia still texts sometimes, but every time her name pops up on my screen my stomach drops, because for a split second I think it's going to be a blank profile pic again. I'm 19 now. I work night shift at a 24-hour gas station because daylight feels safer, but I still jump at every shadow. I check the locks 5, 6, 7 times before I go to bed. I never use WhatsApp, never join group chats, never give my real number to anyone. I keep the lights on all night, every night. My mom says I look 10 years older than I am. I flinch when people say my name. I haven't walked past a school since the day we moved. The smell of bleach and pizza makes me want to throw up. Some nights I wake up at exactly 2:17 a.m. with my heart racing and the feeling that someone is standing at the foot of my bed. I never look. I just pull the blanket over my head like a little kid and wait for morning. 3 weeks ago I thought I was finally getting better. I hadn't had a nightmare in days. I was closing the gas station alone at 3 a.m., locking the front doors, when my new phone buzzed in my pocket. I almost dropped it. One new message, from a number that showed up as nothing but dashes. Just a photo. It was the inside of the gas station, taken from the far corner near the energy drinks. You could see me standing at the register in my green work shirt, back to the camera, counting the till. The timestamp was 2 minutes ago. I spun around so fast I knocked over the whole cash drawer. The store was empty. Doors still locked. Cameras showed nothing, no one walked in, no one walked out. I quit the next day. Last night I was sitting in my new bedroom, curtains closed, 2 deadbolts, chair under the knob again, when I heard it. The same slow scrape of a shoe across the floor. Once. Twice. Then silence. I waited an hour before I worked up the courage to look at my phone. One new notification. A single voice message from an unknown contact. I almost deleted it without listening. But my thumb hit play before my brain could stop it. 30 seconds of perfect silence, and then the slowest, wettest exhale right into the microphone. Followed by my own voice, soft and smiling, whispering, "Found you again, Alex." The message deleted itself right after. I haven't told anyone. They'll just say I'm crazy again. So here I am, telling thousands of strangers on YouTube, because maybe one of you will believe me. Maybe one of you has gotten a blank profile pic in your group chat too. Maybe one of you has heard that scrape in the dark. Because sometimes, when it's really quiet and I'm trying to fall asleep, I swear I can feel someone sitting on the edge of my bed, breathing through their teeth. Waiting. So tell me. If it followed me 3 hours away. If it found me at work. If it still knows my new number. What if it isn't just after me? What if, right now, while you're watching this video, it's already in your group chat? And your phone is about to buzz with a photo taken from inside your room? Sleep tight, guys. Turn the volume up and listen very carefully. Because I think I just heard the scrape again.